Let me begin with a quote by Mahatma Gandhi. Strength does not come from physical capacity. It comes from an indomitable will. Today, we will be witnessing a story of true strength, courage, and resilience. A story that goes beyond the muscles and bone into the heart and spirit of a person living with limb-girdle muscular dystrophy. This is not just a tale of struggle, but of hope, perseverance, and the relentless pursuit of dreams. Namaste and warm welcome to everyone listening. I am Dr. Bijaya Mishra, a board member of Rare Diseases Society, Nepal. Today, we will be having a very special conversation that brings light to a journey of courage, strength, and hope. We are here to hear the personal story of a remarkable individual living with limb-girdle muscular dystrophy, a rare genetic disorder. Talking briefly about limb-girdle muscular dystrophy, LGMD, it is caused by a mutation in the TTN gene, that is, the titin gene. It is a rare genetic muscle wasting condition that mainly affects the muscle around the hips and shoulder. Over time, it causes progressive weakness, difficulty walking, and can lead to wheelchair use. It is inherited and currently has no cure. But supportive care can help manage symptoms. Today, we have with us a very special person, Mr. Suvam Bhatta, our guest, who will be sharing with us his journey of living with limb-girdle muscular dystrophy. Let me introduce Suvam. He is a 20-year young boy, originally from Gorkha district and currently living in Vanastali, Kathmandu. He enjoys doodling, idea of nature conservation, watching crime documentaries. His journey is both challenging and inspiring, and we are grateful that he is here with us today to share his story. Thank you, Suvam, for accepting our invitation and willing to share your story. So, are we ready, Suvam? Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Vijay ma'am, for inviting me to share my journey with you.
Suvam, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? I just briefly introduced you, but would you like to introduce yourself in your own words?
Namaste, hello everyone. I am Suvam Bhatta from Nepal. I am currently 20 years old and I live with a rare condition which is also known as limb-girdle muscular dystrophy. And my subtype is LGMD2J, or it is currently known as R10. And I am currently a member of Rare Disease Society Nepal. And I advocate for rare disease awareness and accessibility. Living with this condition has shaped my journey and inspired me to use my voice to empower others, raise awareness, and push for inclusion. I see myself as a change maker, trying to make a real impact in my community and beyond.
Wow, very inspiring, Shubham. So, Shubham, when did you and your family first notice something different happening to your health? How did it all start?
Well, for starters, my family and I first noticed difference in my muscle strength and mobility during my early teenage years, along with some frequent fallings. These changes became more noticeable over time, prompting medical consultation. I am the only one in my family with this condition, which highlights how rare disease can appear unexpectedly without family history.
So you said early teen years, right? So what was your age when you noticed something unusual happening to your health?
After 14 years old.
Okay, so it was 14 years old, and before 14 years, everything was fine. You were there were no any symptoms happening?
Yes, completely. There was no any symptoms.
Okay. You said there is no one in your family facing any similar kind of problem.
Yes.
Yeah. So whenever we see rare disease, the patient, they go through a very long story of struggle with, multiple doctor visit, running clinic after clinic to various doctor team, and years passing by to come up with a diagnosis. But many cases, the diagnosis still doesn't get confirmed, especially in the poor resources and infrastructure setting like Nepal. We don't have any infrastructure or resources to get genetically tested. So you said your diagnosis has already been made as limb-girdle muscular dystrophy type 2J. So can you share with us how did this diagnosis get confirmed? What was your course of the disease? Like, how many doctors did you visit? How did you first start with your treatment? How did it all go, through from your initial symptoms to coming up with a LGMD diagnosis?
I think for me it is, I think, same for every rare disease patients to get our clinical diagnosis after many years. I think this type of long process is often called as a diagnosis odyssey, which can take years for many rare disease patients. In my case, it was indeed challenging. Nepal, because Nepal lacks advanced genetic testing facilities. So my journey also included multiple hospital visits and inconclusive results. Eventually, I had to go to abroad for genetic testing to receive a confirmed diagnosis of LGMD2J at Medanta Hospital in India.
Okay. How long did it take for the diagnosis to come? You said you were 14 when your first symptoms appeared. And what was your age when you got a confirmed diagnosis about your LGMD? How old were you when you got your confirmed diagnosis?
My initial diagnosis of suspected muscular dystrophy was at around 14 at Grandi Hospital.
Okay.
But recently, 2 years ago, at my when I was 18 years old, there we did clinical exome sequencing and genetic testing, and I was confirmed at 18 years old with LGMD2J.
Like when you presented with your symptoms, even in the hospitals of Nepal, like Grandi, the diagnosis was suspected to be muscular dystrophy, but based on your clinical presentation, there weren't any testing done.
Yes, at that time there were no facility of doing any testing in Nepal.
So there weren't any testing facility, and based on your clinical presentation, you were suspected to have muscular dystrophy, but not knowing which type it was. And at the age of 18 years, you went to India Medanta, and there you got your diagnosis as LGMD type 2J, right? Shubham, I'm sure it must have been a very long, very hard time for you and your family when the diagnosis of your condition came up. So, how did you and your family react to the diagnosis?
Well, I had suspected something, either limb-girdle muscular dystrophy or Becker muscular dystrophy, based on my research and connection with international friend with muscular dystrophy. But getting the official diagnosis was still emotional for my family. My family was a little concerned, but they were finally relieved to have an answer, which helped us plan for the future and understand the condition better.
Hmm. Yeah, so yeah, and how did you take about your diagnosis? What were the feelings or what were the emotions that you went through? As you said, like you were researching about muscular dystrophy and you were learning about the muscular dystrophy and its type already before the diagnosis, confirmed diagnosis came. So, how did you yourself took the diagnosis?
Well, I will say, as Nepal currently lacks any rare disease government bodies or organization which provides any testing, so I did basically research on internet and see what were the what were the major symptoms of different muscular dystrophy types. So, and then I suspected I either had LGMD or BMD on
Okay.
that basis.
What were your understanding about LGMD at that time?
Initially, I understood it as a progressive muscle condition. Later, I learned it is caused by the challenge in the titin gene, which affect muscle strength and function over time.
Shubham, really inspiring to know that you researching about your likely condition and then already ready to accept it and embrace the diagnosis when actually the confirmed diagnosis was made. Shubham, we want to know what are your daily life challenges. You said it started with, progressive weakness. You had difficulties in climbing up stairs and gradually weakening of the muscles. So, what are your daily life challenges that you face?
Having LGMD, many of the patients which have muscular dystrophy are also called as chronic illness patient, which we are called chronically ill. So for me also, my daily life challenges include such as walking long distances, climbing stairs, and performing any physical demanding tasks. My muscle cramps and fatigue. So I have to carefully manage my energy throughout the day.
How has school, college, even work been for you?
Well, despite my condition, I completed my plus two by going to college. Despite physical challenges and limited accessibility in our college, all over Nepal, despite having an inaccessibility, I am now starting my bachelor's online with NOU because many of the colleges are inaccessible for physical people with physical disability. My career path has shifted more towards nowadays towards advocacy, content creation, and connecting with people with disability and rare disease communities. I am now exploring our work opportunities, with remote work being the most suitable option.
Really, really very inspiring. Like in developed country, we see that it's all very well equipped, facilities are available, there are support for the people needing assistance, but definitely Nepal does not have all those infrastructures and facilities for people who would be needing assistance. You are trying to get your education online, you are trying to work remotely. Really, really inspiring, Suvam. Very motivating to many of us who would be hearing this. And so, yeah, again, coming to the same question, Shubham. So, how accessible do you think our public places, schools, or hospitals are for you or any people who would be needing assistance?
I think accessibility in Nepal remains very limited. Many schools, hospitals, and public space lacks basic ramps, basic infrastructure, accessible restrooms, and proper pathways. Hospitals are somewhat better, but they still have significant gaps. I think improving accessibility is essential, not just for people with disabilities, but for everyone.
True. So, Shubham, do you use a wheelchair or any other assistive device for your day-to-day task? How often do you use them?
Well, I consider myself as an ambulatory wheelchair user. I only use it when I need it the most because I'm still able to walk short distance on flat surface, but uneven terrain is very hard for me. I don't rely on wheelchair full time because I can't really rely because if I started relying more on my wheelchair, my muscle will get more stiffer and my ability to walk will be decreased. So my doctor has suggested that as the condition progresses, I might eventually need to use a wheelchair full time for safety and to not fall often.
So, what kind of treatments or therapy have you received? What were the treatments that were started?
Well, to say treatment currently, to be frank, there is no cure for LGMD currently yet. But I focus on physiotherapy, nutrition, and supportive care. I have taken supplements like vitamin D, fish oil, L-carnitine, and Remelin B12 injection because people with LGMD may have low B12 in their body, and multivitamins and calcium. Advanced therapies like gene therapy and stem cell therapy are currently not available in Nepal, though some are being used or trial abroad. I manage mostly my care through online consultation and guidance from the global medical community.
Like basically, your treatment is supportive. There is no any definite cure for LGMD, and all you're receiving is vitamin supplement, vitamin D, B12, carnitine, fish oils.
Creatine, I forgot creatine also. supplement creatine. I take it as a supplement.
So, and you also talked about this physiotherapy, right? So, how often do you do this physiotherapy sessions, or how do you manage to do those session, take those sessions?
Well, for me, physiotherapy is suggested, but as physiotherapy centers are not near me, but which are near are basically inaccessible. So I do yoga, I do basic stretching without putting any strain on my body, because if I put more strain on my body, it could result to muscle loss. So I have to be very careful to work on that.
To take those physiotherapy sessions for you, how convenient was it for you to go and, take those physiotherapy sessions?
Well, in Nepal, most of the physiotherapy sessions aren't very accessible because mostly physiotherapy are drawn for injury related issues. So they don't focus on neurological conditions like ours. So they aren't pretty much accessible. So personally, I do light stretching and yoga at home. And I also recommend people who currently live in low resource setting like mine to do their stretching exercise in their own home with their own taking their family help, because many YouTube videos are there for them to do by themselves.
Okay. Subham, so coming to the cost, so we all know the cost of rare diseases are very high, even with the diagnosis. You said you went to Medanta and did your clinical exome sequencing. It does not come under budget for many patients and families to, in country like ours where finances becomes a huge challenge for the patient. So how does your family manage the cost of the care? I mean, like, do you get any kind of support from government or any organization, or have you approached some of those organization or government for getting the financial assistance?
Well, being having a rare disease is very expensive. So people with rare disease really need to be rich, or really they have to break their bank. No, we don't receive any support. All costs are mainly covered by my personal and my family. Currently, there is no government support for such rare disease like ours in Nepal. Structured healthcare assistance for condition like mine is still lacking. So there isn't any support or any financial assistance, and for any organization, no. But Rare Disease Society Nepal provides me a space, a platform to share advocacy. So I am very grateful for them to provide me this opportunity, and I would like to say thank you for them.
If I may ask, like throughout the course of the condition that you are living with, how much has been the expense? If you have any idea about it.
Well, to be precisely from starting, let's take at 14-year-olds from suspected muscular dystrophy to getting clinically diagnosed. My cost was around Nepalese rupees above 6 lakhs.
Okay, for the diagnosis.
After travel expenses and diagnosis, yes. Yeah, currently the supplements, those cost me monthly around Nepalese rupees 4,000 monthly.
Monthly 4,000 supplement you've been taking for like since 14 years till now.
Yes.
It's really very inspiring to see a young boy who's like full of dreams, hopes, and passion to do something big in life, Shivam. So, what keeps you going during difficult times?
I stay motivated by the belief that change is possible. Knowing my voice can raise awareness, influence policy, and improve lives, that keeps me going. Connecting with the rare disease community also provides strength and perspective.
And you are a part of our society now, Rare Diseases Society Nepal. You have recently this term joined in as a board member of the Rare Diseases Society Nepal, and you've already mentioned that you would love to spread more awareness. You want to spread your voice. So can you share with us what are the various activities that you have been doing in regards to spreading awareness and contributing to the rare disease community?
Well, currently I advocate both on online and offline basis. On online, I advocate via my Instagram, which is known as Accessible Voices. I share solutions. I raise awareness about the right of people living with rare disease and disabilities, and I sometimes use humor to highlight serious issues so people can focus on it. And offline also I work, I as you previously mentioned, I now currently serve as board members with Rare Disease Society Nepal. We currently engage with many international rare disease organizations, and I also advocate for policy change, promoting accessibility and encourage patients to join supportive communities. As I believe, in my personal belief, I believe sharing experience and knowledge strengthens networks for everyone.
Shubham, we are almost towards the end of our conversation. If there is something that you would want to say to the Nepal's policymaker, what would it be?
Well, my brief message for them will be early diagnostics saves lives. Nepal should fund genetic testing, create a lab for specific rare disease, and create a main important, I would like to highlight, create a national rare disease registry and ensure public spaces, schools, and transports are inclusive because inclusion is a right, not a privilege.
Wow. And what do you wish for other children with muscular dystrophy in Nepal?
My wish for them is to, I hope they could get early diagnosis, access to proper medical care, inclusive education, and the confidence to pursue their dreams without any limits.
Truly inspiring, Shubham. And one last question: what is the message that you want to give other people living with any rare diseases?
Well, my final message to everyone, national, international, who are living with rare disease is a diagnosis is not the end, it's start of a new chapter. Rare disease affects millions worldwide and our voice matters. So stay informed, care for your health, connect with others, and raise your voices. Together we can create meaningful changes.
Wow, really, really heart touching and inspiring. Thank you so much, Suvam, for being with us, accepting our invite, being so open and strong and sharing your life with us. Your story is really powerful reminder of how important awareness, accessibility, and compassion are, and more importantly, loving oneself is the biggest message that I feel I have gained through your story. So yes, Mr. Shubham has also joined recently as a board member for the Rare Diseases Society Nepal, and as a board member of Rare Diseases Society Nepal, we urge everyone to advocate for better care, for early diagnosis, and inclusive policies for all rare diseases patients in Nepal. As a board member of Rare Diseases Society Nepal, we urge everyone to advocate for better care, early diagnosis, and inclusive policies for all rare diseases patients in Nepal. Let us all work together to build a society where no one is left behind. Thank you so much, Subham, once again for being with us.
Thank you, Bijaya ma'am, for inviting, and thank you, RDSN, for providing this platform. I hope many rare disease patients connect with us, especially from Nepal. They can connect with our organizations.
Thank you so much. Yes, I hope and I firmly believe that Shubham's story has touched the life, touched the heart of everyone listening. And yes, let us all never give up on our hope, and rare needs care. So let us everyone come together and be the voice of patient living with rare diseases. Thank you. Jai Nepal.
Jai Nepal.